Welcome to our weekly checking in, practicing together, practicing the quiet skills that, or even as Kira Sloan may say, mad yogi skills that help us move towards less suffering. Suffering is inevitable, as many wise ones have told us, but there are ways we can limit the added or limit or even reduce, and I'm hoping that maybe stop the added suffering that we give to things. And it's okay that there is added suffering too. So today my topic idea, integration. Something I'm constantly realizing is that no matter how we describe this home that we're coming to, this presence, it's beyond words. And whenever we do come to a description or we focus in or even open focus, it really has to do with the last limb where we just make ourselves available to how all of nature is constantly in motion. All of the manifest is always in motion, is always all here for us at the same time. And the interesting thing of this path, and it is the last three limbs that we work with, that brings us, the sixth one is of the eight limbs is that we focus our attention. I'll check my concentration locks on a single area. And the next step, the dharana. That's dharana. Dharana is that concentration locks consciousness on a single area. So we might be observing, and for right now, if you're, I'm just chatting a little bit, we'll get into a little micro movement practice and then we'll meditate. And that's all about a half hour. So we might be focusing on getting grounded, and that's our attention is on a single area. We might bring a mantra into that or a visualization for this practice. And then as we hold that in meditative absorption, which is dharana, which is that seventh limb, the entire perceptual flow is aligned with that object. So one graphic I've seen is that not only the perceptual flow, but it's a two-way street, that my attention is going out there, or let's say in here to the breath, and then that is coming back to my attention. So there's a two-way, even though if I'm watching something in myself or outside of myself, that becomes, he says, aligned. And then when only the essential nature of the object shines forth, as if formless integration has arisen. I love how these wise yogis or wise people through the ages have put down these terse aphorisms, and they're very koan-like sometimes, like this one. What does he mean? What does he or she or whoever wrote this, what do they mean? When only the entire nature of the object shines forth, as if formless integration has arisen. So part of what we'll do in this practice together, part of what I do regularly, is include an inquiry. And so inquiry, so first we come to observe something and bring our attention to it. And then we hold it with wonder, with curiosity. We're aligning in that perceptual flow. And the inquiry part then can come in as our mind automatically does. It gives a name to the experience. It comments on the experience. And we can use this to, in a way, it's very automatic, but when we're really present with what's happening there and are we listening and are we getting it? Is it maybe there's a slightly different way of expressing what's truly, truly there? And that process of sort of being seen, the essential nature shines forth. And maybe that essential nature is way back to the formless, the essence, prior to any qualities at all. But maybe that essential nature of each unique expression of the universe, it also has something very unique to tell us. And we have sometimes, or maybe often, not been able to process completely something that's happened to us or some experience, and we've locked it away or we've protected it or we've done something with it to where it might be like a knot that lives in us. And when we bring our attention to it, so when we're sitting in a quiet practice or a very micro movement practice, or we're meditating and something arises, maybe it's a pain in the body, maybe it's an anger that we have or sadness. And this is a huge opportunity from that quiet, present, meditative state to bring our attention to what is here. And when those things are difficult, it's a special challenge but it's also an opportunity. We might see how we recoil, see how we pull away. So I have two little stories to illustrate this, and then we'll get into our movement practice. And while I'm telling you the stories, if it's easy enough, you can make sure you have what you need. I actually forgot to get something to support my knee. So for our sit. And as I'm telling these stories, decide whether you want to be sitting. You can just decide from a feeling way, whether you want to be lying down, another position for the movement. You'll just need access to be able to touch with your hand, your body, with one hand. And after that, we will move to a meditation, and you can either stay in the place you're in or change posture. So this morning, all the three pets are sometimes in bed with us. Rocky's right there most of the night. At one point this morning, he cuddled up sort of to the bend in the back of my knees. And I noticed myself, because I know that he's a warm, friendly form that I love, I just softened closer to him. I just softened, and it was that early. I was probably the last 30 minutes of my sleep, and I maybe it was before that, but anyway, I noticed so that next level of commenter or noticing, wow, it was like so easy to, like when somebody gives you a hug and it's still sort of rigid, but then one of you softens into it and you get that delicious soft hug. And I kind of had this quick review of, wow, this is how we can be. We can come with this softness. And yet there are times we can't soften so much. And this brings me to the second story of being on silent retreat with my friend Jackie, who's here in live time with us. And it was maybe I don't know, 6, 7, 8-day retreat. I don't know. And I love to see animals, and there are really no dogs around in the retreat center. There were, what are they called? Groundhogs. They were really cute, but you really can't come up to them or pet them. And one day I think it was before or after dinner, near the dining center, I saw in the little distance at the where they have like a preschool area, um, a white cat. And I got closer slowly. And as I got closer, I saw that the cat was maybe had a torn ear and a bloodied, somehow the face was bloodied. It was a cat who had been hurt or just, a feral cat who was probably getting some treats around the dining hall. And what I noticed was the opposite of what I experienced with my dog Rock this morning. I recoiled and kind of things went through my head like, oh, don't even try to pet that cat because it's got whatever whatever diseases. And I had a sense of like, wow, why? How could I be here with this cat that I love cats? So why wouldn't I love this one? And not that I need to touch it, but it comes to this, how do we be? How would it like me to be with it? And how would I like to be with it? And this is a really good question if we can slow down or catch ourselves in this practice. What this practice helps us take this off the mat and be able to do that. Catch ourselves. And another way this is happening for me is when I get spun up and I'm almost ready to say something I'm going to regret, and I have said it and regretted. And what I'm realizing now, I can hold that difficult thing happening in me. I can hold it for myself. First, feel truly what's happening here, and then make a choice of how I express that. So there's this observing, attending to, and then how do we express? And I think I did eventually come a little closer to the cat. I don't remember what happened, if it ran away from me or what. All right, so let's settle to where we can feel the ground under us, truly feel it with all our senses, dimensions in this field of gravity. And add observation of your breathing, a meeting of the breath. Just however you are. You don't have to sit in a perfect posture, in a upright posture, just comfortable and alert together, softly alert. Breathing, not manipulating the breath in any way, though if that happens, that's fine. Not, and just noticing any comments that come from the peanut gallery in our head. And then opening to sound. These 3 steps: ground, breath, sound. Notice how that may feel like it's ushering us right to be here now. Sound, as I hear birds, and you might hear the ones here. I hear the birds tweeting in that direction and pecking in that direction at the seeds. But open sound to be the matter that phenomenon that come through any of the 5, 6 senses. Touch, the feel of the temperature of the air. Hopefully the comfortable clothing against your skin. The inner sensations of maybe breakfast in your belly, or your warm beverage from before. And the emotional states we're noticing. All that is coming to us, and we extend it back out, send it back out. And then become conscious of your dominant hand. My right hand, I am right-handed. And we will use our dominant hand to come to touch our head. And it's going to look like it's my left side, but it's my right. It's going to look like it on the video. And we'll be offering touch for a few minutes, starting with our head and just coming down. Just like how the head wants to be touched and how the hand can give touch and is willing to touch, and just almost like a touch that's a hug. Touch the top or the side, just on the right side of the head for now, right? Starting at the top for a few seconds, just till you really get a feel of maybe that same feel of the initial hug is a little rigid, and then just how you can relax into the warmth going both ways giving, both ways receiving. And you do not need, if you are sitting, you do not need to be upright, like rigidly upright, straight. You can be bowed, you can be leaned back, you can be leaned to the side. And notice and feel that warmth and giving of the hand, the touch, giving the touch to, now I'm on my forehead and eyebrow, sort of the top of the orbit of the eye. And I'm going to bring my hand now over to the temple where I have a bump on my head. And notice also, as you can notice in that direction, the hand giving to the head and feeling deeper in both, into both entities. Notice how the head is responding. And also touching, perhaps. Or let's keep it simpler. Let's have the hand be the one that's giving. Even though the giving and receiving is happening both ways, imagine it's the hand that's giving, the body that's receiving. And I'm now back around behind my ear. And as you stay, you just might find a way, like I just did, to adjust so that holding the hand there is easy and pleasant. And now I'm going to come to the back of the neck. And I'm adjusting even how my head is to receive this in a way that's really nice. And then I'm going to end right here on my trapezius, that muscle that loves to be massaged, but we're not doing that, although it's fine if you do that, but it's just sort of like giving the weight of the hand and like a hand hug to the body. That's a new term, hand hug. Yeah, and see how I just noticed again, my body really responded with a difference in breath, a little shift in position, to my fingers hanging on this off tight area. And then even if you're reluctant to let go, let the hand come to rest on release the hand hug. And here's an opportunity where we're first mostly just receiving what's here now that's new in a way that integrates all that we are experiencing truly right now. So there's so much. In a flash, I'm feeling both a warm waterfall softening through my uprightness, and at the same time, a little cramp in the back of my hand that was giving the hugs. At the same time, there might have been a thought happening or an emotion. And you can even say it out loud, as we've been sometimes practicing. And as I said that one, I get an opportunity to hear it. I become my own audience. And is there something more accurate? I don't know. It feels sort of like one of those chocolate lava displays, at entertainment for eating, where you dip in your fruit or marshmallow or molten chocolate. It's warm, flowing sculpture. Okay, now take the right hand, or whichever you were using, the dominant, and go to the other side of your head. We'll just do this very briefly. So maybe we'll choose about 3 or 4 places to visit. You can continue at your own, and if you're watching the recording, you can certainly pause this and stay longer. And frankly, you can do what you want. Just decided to, I don't know, second position. Let there be a little time where you're sensing how the giving is happening, how the receiving. What's lovely about this practice, and this is not my own creation, this idea, I got it from my teachers who maybe got it from someone else. You know how you like to be touched. So this is a practice you can do for yourself. Anytime, any place. Watching how you receive as well as how you give. One more place. I'm on my 4th one. If you're still in your 3rd or getting to your 3rd, go ahead. So you can be moving. I didn't say that before. I'm moving a little. I'm finding that helpful to just kind of undulate a little bit where I am now, my neck. And for a moment, let the hand receive, the body give, let the flow become two-way, and the hand is giving, the hand is receiving. The body's receiving, the body's giving. So we're just making a separation of the hand as one entity, and the whole rest of the body is the other. All right. And release this side and take a moment to stop. Rest the hand, the arm. Notice first before even words, and words might come very, very quickly. They do. Language comes quickly. But what's before the words? What are the raw perceptions, gifts we're receiving right here? Mine has changed. Maybe yours has too. And say it out loud for yourself. Mine is something like, soft, or a clear, soft clarity. And segue from here, maybe you're right where you need to be still. Meditative states, practice, so what I termed meditation before from the Yoga Sutra, it's a little different actually. We've already been meditating. Movement. And now we're still. Can take the steps again of ground, breath, sound. Letting the eyes soften or be just a tiny bit open even. This meditation will be just a couple minutes. And we're just here in still, easy receptivity. Open to all that is here, and from our physical perceiving, our emotional heart perceiving along the inspiring of the breath, the spirit of the breath, enlivening all the many skills of our brain and nervous system. Just in a way, we use another term from my study with the Embodied Life School, witnessing, WITHNESSING. Holding space, being space. Going to take us a little past those of you present in real time or even watching this later, and we're at 30 minutes, but I'm feeling so inclined to continue meditating another 4 minutes. But if you need to go, just gently bring your hands to your heart, bow. Conclude the practice. If not, stay a little longer. Sometimes we get the gift of noticing we could relax more somewhere. Sometimes we get the gift of noticing our mind has been super busy. About 6 more breaths together. The bell is great practice. Palms together, finding each other at the heart. Head bowing to the heart, to the giving hands, motor instruments of the heart. Such gratitude. So maybe for homework, and I'm going to pose this for myself as well. My teacher, Russell Delman and Linda Delman, teachers, they suggest this practice that I haven't been able, there's something in me resists it. And I'm just gonna, he's not gonna like this, but I'm just gonna show you this one. Oh, he's not gonna like it. That's Max. I know. To give touch to yourself, ourselves in a way, especially as we need a comforting or something, just, oh dear one. Oh dear one. But maybe just in building that relationship with ourselves, that listening, and perhaps doing that. I might try to remember to do that in the morning when I'm first waking up. Morning, dear one. And the touch of our hand, and that acknowledgement, and giving ourselves that hug at just whatever level we can be with ourselves. Sometimes it's hard to be tender toward ourselves, I guess. But anyway, enough. Thank you so much, Jackie and Mary Beth, for being here in my space with me. Just the one cat today, Max. The others are, I think Tommy's out on the deck and Rock's up in bed with Matt. The weather is relatively speaking cool, probably only around 60 degrees. Not that cold, but raw with the rain. Oh, thank you so much. Mwah. See you guys next time, dear ones.